all the people are still present that were here
Yes.
for the first roll call.
So do I need to call the roll again? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for November 13th?
I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed. I oppose. And the reason I oppose is because I just got these minutes and I did come to my box and I have been coming, they weren't in my box. So only reason I'm opposing is because I haven't had a chance to read them, to make sure.
Yes,
Are mics working?
No.
yes, they're on. Can you speak into the mic, please? And I oppose for the same reason. I was here last night and these minutes were not in my box.
I came here today and these minutes were not in my box.
Okay. Motion carries 4-3. The next thing on the agenda is public comment.
Public comment?
Public comment, anyone have any comments?
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. You can hear most of what's going on. I know you can speak up,
All right.
because it's been done.
We said make a comment, not a
Is this
statement.
about the minutes, or?
No, anything.
We're at public comments.
What's your comment?
I can't hear. Either can other people.
I know,
That's
we
my
can-
problem.
we got it here.
If you can't speak up, I don't know what to do.
What your
Right.
comment is?
We'll speak up, Ms. Music.
Miss Music, we will
Where are
speak
you
up.
at on the minutes?
I'll
I mean,
speak
on the
I'll
agenda.
speak- I'll
We're
speak
at
up.
public comment.
Okay.
Do you have
Any more public comments?
do you have any
No,
comments?
no,
We're moving
I'm
on.
quiet.
All right, guys. For us.
For my report, Madam President, I think the items that I think are on the agenda that are important to identify is that I think I'm asking for your authorization to, as we discussed at the committee meeting last week, to advertise, to solicit bids for the trash collection services. I discussed this with Ms. Brown. What I would suggest is certainly we advertise for trash and disposal services. The borough currently doesn't have a recycling program.
Because we weren't able to afford it,
Well,
because that's a separate contract.
right, and my suggestion was going to be that we include in the request for bids that the contractors give us proposals at the option of the borough, that if sometime during the term of the contract, the borough decides to have recycling services, that you could exercise that option at that point in time. At the very least, it would just simply give you an idea about what the prices are, without any obligation to enter into that contract or not. Because of the current conditions with recycling, and because, as was enacted several years ago, in order to dispose of all solid waste, you're now paying a tipping fee, to the landfill. What you might see eventually is it's cheaper to do recycling than to pay the tipping fee for the recycled product. So for instance, if you take paper, cardboard, soda cans, bottles out of your trash stream, you're not paying, you wouldn't be paying for the weight of those things. I think it's about, I don't know exactly, but it's about $30 a ton
We were,
that we pay.
up until 2013, or when we had a recycling committee, and at the time, we weren't able to afford the recycling. That's why we had moved recycling to Water Street. And we did very well. People were recycling their cans, their bottles, their papers. I don't know how well they're doing in the Basaco Park, because that's where we moved it from, because no one was really recycling down there. But once we moved it to the front, it was, people did take care of it. The one thing I would like to ask though, this time with the tipping fees, because it's not just our recycling. When they pick up our trash, they pick up Colwyn first. And they still got Colwyn in the truck. They go to Darby, they go to Sharon Hill. Then when that truck gets out there, that's when our tipping fees come. And if we're not looking at the bills on a monthly basis, we have been overcharged a few times. So in the new contract, can we see if we can get them to pick up Colwyn trash and take it and dump it before they go anywhere else?
I would include that in the specifications that I have done for several trash contracts for municipalities. You know, I've written in the specifications that the contractor needs to segregate our waste from any other municipalities. Quite honestly, I don't know, I know some haulers do that, including our own hauler in places, and I think they estimate, you know, which I was never comfortable with, so that's what I have drafted in specifications, is to segregate out your own.
Or can they, like, since we're the smallest borough, can't they just pick up our trash? And, I mean, really, I think they're only using one trash truck, if I'm not mistaken, 2 at the most. Why they can't dump our trash before they go to a bigger borough, like Darby or Forecroft? Because that's what's been hitting us with the tipping fees, is because we're the smallest, but they're filling up the truck. And that was one of the things I was gonna ask to be added to the trash contract, is that they get rid of our trash first, and then we'll get a true assessment of how much we're paying for tipping fees. Right now, we don't have that, because they go there and they say, okay, this amount was Colwyn, this amount was Darby, this amount was Sharon Hill or Forecroft or whoever they're gonna pick up, but it's not actually a true amount, and we wind up sometime paying more than the bigger barrels.
Yeah,
I got
I agree with you.
women there.
Mayor wanted to speak.
John,
Go ahead.
how much trouble would it be for, you know, Colwyn Borough to get their own trash truck?
We can't afford it.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I mean, you know,
You gotta pay.
that's something we need to look at, because really,
Even Clifton
Yeah.
Heights
The money-
gave up their trucks.
Yeah.
They've given up their trucks. We're not a
we
big
just-
enough borough to afford a truck. The
I
people
mean,
that gotta
that's
go.
something to really think about,
We
you
just
know?
gotta be,
Well, it's
Mr.
something that you
Solicitor,
could-
we ought to add something, because this is one of my expertise, that we just have to get hard with this contract for 2 reasons, because like Tanette said, I've talked to this trash hauler numerous times, dozens of times, John, on the tipping fees and instituting a recycling program in this borough. And you know, he says to me that, we gotta go out and get a $25,000 grant in order to have a recycling program. I said, well, why can't we break it down in the contract? You know, because like everybody's saying, like you're saying, if we have a lucrative recycling program, that's gonna less trash.
And the
It's
last
gonna keep our
contract,
costs down.
the
Like
last
Tanette, I have
contract,
to agree with Tanette on this one. and
like the
tipping
contract
fees.
we had last time, it's not that we didn't wanna put recycling in there. They wanted to charge us an X amount
Extra
of
money,
dollars
yeah, extra
for
money.
Yeah,
for
well, they will, they'll, I mean,
Recycle.
typically the way it's structured is, we have once a week trash pickup here?
twice.
Twice a week.
Twice,
And then what you would do is have once a week, separate from trash,
yeah.
once a week, recycling pickup, where they would, again, charge you a separate amount of money, to pick up the
Yeah.
recycled products. There are different ways to approach it. You could just say, hey, you pick up our recyclables and, you can keep them, you know, and then the
Yeah, there's
company,
profit in recyclables.
Well,
So we gonna get it.
You
the
know?
company,
You need-
but you have to manage that,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
sometimes it is profitable, sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
It all depends on the market.
That's right, the
I-
fluctuation of the market.
Look, we've got so many other things, I think, for your purposes, you know, I mean, they might say to you, hey, we'll charge you $7,500 or $10,000 just to pick up, and we keep the recyclables. Well, you may estimate, you know, if you can remove a certain amount, if you can remove 20% of the trash
If we can-
from your stream.
We
can
have,
have-
I don't
you
know,
know
if-
what?
I don't know, I'm sorry, Paul, but, I mean, we have data and stuff on this since we
Yeah.
did the, I don't know if the data is still here, but we did very well when we were institute the recycling, cause like I said, the community was participating. The other thing that we had instituted, but it never ever materialized, was our highway guys picking up the paper.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
right.
it never got instituted, but they could pick up the paper. I don't know what happened to the dumpsters that we had, like the green and yellow dumpsters, we were getting money back from them.
Yeah.
You know, the stream,
There's a number of options, John, you can
Well, that's
go
what
with.
I'm saying, you don't have to
Yeah.
decide what to do with recycling. My suggestion is, in the specifications, it's simple enough just to include a section that says, give me a number, if we want it once a week curbside recycling
Yeah.
for all recyclable products. And, you know, it's at the option of the borough about whether or not during the course of the contract to accept that. And if you decided 6 months from now or a year from now that you wanted to do it, you could enact that option at that point in time. Like I said, at the very least, it just gives you an idea about what the price is so that you have an idea. If they, like I said, if they come back and bid and say, I would guess, my experience, I would guess that your price from a Suburban or a B&L for once a week recyclable for the number of units that we have might be somewhere in the area of $7,500 to $10,000.
There you
well,
go.
they gave us between 10 and 15, because a lot of people throw out their mattresses and stuff.
Well, they wouldn't pick up those out for recycling,
Right.
but
Well,
if you,
trash,
if they
yeah,
kept,
that's-
if they kept the
that's all trash.
recyclables based on the current market, again, that's just what I've seen in other municipalities.
If he
But
would give us a-
wouldn't it be, but don't we get performance grants? I know we get performance grants for recycling.
That's the other part of it is, you would be eligible for grants, you keep track of the tonnage, not only disposed of by the residents, you know, but if your business is recycled, you can have that counted. And you can get performance grants, and they're usually several $1,000s to
Right.
$6,000 or $7,000.
We've gotten
To
those.
offset those costs, and there are grants available through the state to begin recycling programs, and that would
He would
include,
take so much money, John, off our trash bill.
yep,
He could keep the recyclables.
No, you don't want them to keep the recyclables.
Well, it
You know
depends
why,
how much he
Paul?
was gonna give us to
No,
that.
no,
you know?
no, it's not what he gonna give us. When they go, it's what he's getting paid for our
I
recycling.
know.
And you don't wanna give that away, because if everybody
Well,
gets
we have a
into
number of
recycling,
options, you know.
you would, that money would come back in the
Get down
Colwyn.
Atlas someday in Sharon Hill, and you see the cars lined up with recyclables down there.
We
But
used
I
to
get down
have,
there myself.
I remember, we used to have
I'm
a
a junk man
recycling.
at heart, so
And
is
we
Brady. We're
did
junk men.
have,
I
we
feel
did
like
have
I'm
that.
We used to scrap newspapers 40 years ago when we were little.
well, listen, we don't
Make it
have to,
work.
again, we don't have to decide that tonight, but
That's
if,
right.
unless there's an objection, maybe what we'll do is include that in
Yeah.
it, and it doesn't, it's no harm, no foul.
Madam
Go
President,
ahead, Sean.
Sorry, I've got a cold. We, a couple years ago, we went to Darby and they had a meeting, with the boroughs, and we did our recycle bank. They had a presentation.
Yeah.
Could we ask that to be put in there, that maybe if they are involved with that? Because that would make an incentive to the people, because they would get points back and they can use them for gift certificates and other things.
Groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
So it would be
I
an
wasn't at
incentive.
that, I'm not familiar, do you have, is there materials or
Recy-
something?
yeah, it's
Get-
called
give me on that?
recycling.
Recycle bank, and they do Philadelphia, they do certain areas of Philadelphia.
If
I
you
remember
could get me
that.
those, you know, or give them Ms. Brown, or
You
send me
still got
those
that? I
materials,
still got
I'd
it.
be
I still
happy
got
to look
it.
at them and try
I
to
still got it.
incorporate those in the
Okay.
specifications. I'm not
Yeah.
personally familiar with that.
I still
Yeah.
got it.
Go ahead, Ms. Warren.
I've been in conversation with Sue at the solid waste numerous times about recycling in Colwyn, and what we did was, we did a pilot program in the beginning of this year to see if the residents would recycle. because they were not recycling too well down at Water Street. We were getting a lot of trash and garbage because it was Main Street. So we moved everything to John Basacco Park. And if you look at our solid waste bill, I mean, just case in point, in November, it was only $1,200. Whereas when we first came in, before we got this recycling program together, we were paying over $2,000 a month for our dumping fees. So now we have significantly reduced that. And we started the pilot program with the county to see if we could get the residents to recycle. And since they're consistently emptying the igloos for the glass, plastic, and metal, and our newspaper bins are also filled, that has really saved us every month. So Sue said if we can demonstrate that we will recycle, there are grants that she will work with me on to get for recycling, for curbside recycling. And it has been working.
All I have to say is, we had the statistics on the recycling. Now, I don't know who's recycling in the neighborhood, because nothing's gone out yet about our recycle bin even being moved back to Basacco Park. There has not been any kind of campaign. Up until 2011 or 12, we had a great recycling program, and it wasn't just trash. I am tired of sitting here and everything that was done by anybody prior to Ms. Brown coming in was just trash, and it wasn't. We worked with Sue before, and I know that people were recycling. Did you ever get notified that the recyclings had been moved? Okay.
We sent several
Yeah,
flyers
did-
out,
No.
and we put it on the website.
No, did you
We
get
put it out in the
notified?
mayor's message twice.
Did you get,
I
did
didn't
you
see
get
it.
a
I
flyer?
haven't seen any.
Well, well,
Excuse me, can I ask another resident?
I know they went out.
Mister, did you get a? I
They're
forgot
also
your name.
downstairs
Did you get a
posted. It's on the
flyer?
website.
Jeanette,
Okay.
listen,
It didn't go
before
out.
you
It didn't
fall-
go out.
I paid for it myself.
I was just
Let me put it-
asking. I was
let me put it
just
into-
asking.
Before
I
even
was
Paul
just
got
asking.
involved, I worked with Martha and Jeanette, it was a joint thing among council. And you know what, I think we're moving forward on this project. And the main thing we gotta do, if we keep up the good work, you know, we might have, recycling in the borough, and there's three things you gotta do. Here's what you gotta do. You gotta educate the people,
We said.
you gotta have you gotta have containers, and you gotta have curbside pickup. That's the only way a true recycling program will work.
When you say containers, it
Yeah.
needs to be in a convenient location.
Yeah, well, we would get
Personally,
like,
I do recycle.
we would
I
get
put mine
800
in my
containers.
truck and take it to work
Yeah.
because